Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on a really fascinating journey.
Oh, yeah. What do we got?
It's a deep dive into this pretty insightful interview. It focuses on Anthony Robbins' work,
Ah, Tony Robbins. Okay.
specifically his big one, Unlimited Power.
Right. Iconic book.
Exactly. And for anyone curious, the translation we're sort of referencing, the ISBN is 978-600-910-8411.
Good to know.
But really, this is our chance to, pull out the key stuff, the essential knowledge, the surprising bits maybe from this interview's take on it.
Giving folks that shortcut to understanding what is, let's face it, a really influential piece of personal development.
Totally.
And what's interesting about looking at an interview about it is how it centers on, well, a globally recognized figure, obviously, and a book that didn't just, join the self-help chat.
No, it really shook things up.
It fundamentally reshaped it for a lot of people. So, this deep dive, it isn't just us repeating the book.
Yeah.
Our mission today, I guess, is to unravel those core themes, self-esteem, personal development, but as they're presented in this specific interview.
Bringing out Robbins' ideas, sure, but also maybe the unique angle of the interviewer or the author of the piece we're looking at.
Exactly. It's about understanding the mechanics, the how-to behind that personal transformation idea.
Okay, perfect. So let's lay out the map for this dive then. We'll start there, then really get into those core themes. The interview unpacks self-esteem, personal development, and we've got some really interesting examples, specific anecdotes the author shares in the interview.
Ah, good. Stories always help.
Definitely. Plus, a look at the practical side, how you actually apply the book's principles.
Yeah, actionable stuff.
Yeah. And then naturally, we'll wrap it up, bring it all together, a summary of the impact, the key takeaways we think are essential for you listening.
Sounds like a plan. Where do we start? Foundational ideas.
Let's do it, starting right at the foundation.
Okay, so if we zoom out for a second. Unlimited Power. It wasn't just another self-help book hitting the shelves, was it?
Not at all.
It was a phenomenon, really. It introduced millions of people to concepts like neuro-linguistic programming, NLP.
Right, NLP.
But in a way that felt accessible, actionable.
Yeah, you could actually do something with it.
Exactly. And at its heart, it pushed this idea, which was pretty revolutionary for many back then, that our internal states, our beliefs, what we focus on, our emotions.
They aren't set in stone.
Precisely. Not fixed parts of your personality. Instead, they're malleable, changeable. And more importantly, you can actually control that change.
Which is incredibly empowering, right? That perspective.
Unequivocally. Still is. It shifts people from feeling like, victims of their own feelings or circumstances.
To being proactive, having agency.
That's the core, taking the driver's seat.
Absolutely. And that foundational premise of unlimited power, which this interview apparently explores really clearly. It sounds simple, but it's huge.
Wow.
That you possess this immense, often completely untapped potential, like a reservoir inside you.
Okay.
And with the right strategies, the right tools, you can consciously unlock it. It's about understanding the mechanics of how we operate.
How we tick.
Yeah, how we process information, how we build our reality in our heads, and then how we choose to respond to everything.
So the goal is to choose consciously, to operate in a way that serves you best, moves you towards what you want.
Exactly. And the work itself, it pulls from all sorts of interesting places and thinkers. The text we looked at mentions people like Milton Erickson.
Ah, the hypnotherapy pioneer, known for that indirect approach.
Right. And Virginia Satir, the family therapist, focused on communication patterns, congruence.
And Richard Bandler, obviously, one of the co-creators of NLP.
Which is totally foundational to Robbins' whole approach.
Absolutely.
It even touches on business insights, Kenneth Blanchard is mentioned, and performance principles. It's like this big synthesis.
Yeah, it draws from a wide net. And what's critical to get from the interview's perspective, it seems, is that this isn't just rehashing cliches.
No feel-good fluff.
Right. It's presented as more structured, deliberate, kind of like what we're doing here, actually.
A deep dive.
Exactly. Focusing not just on what needs changing, but really drilling down on the how. How do you actually achieve personal transformation?
Right. The process.
It emphasizes a dynamic, proactive approach. Very personal. It's not about waiting around for inspiration to strike.
No, it's about generating it actively.
That's the hallmark, isn't it? That active stance, taking command of your inner world. That's what sets it apart from maybe more passive self-help.
Okay, so let's shift gears then. Let's get into those core themes the interview really digs into: self-esteem and personal development.
Let's do it.
When we talk self-esteem in the context of unlimited power, it's way more than just feeling good about yourself, isn't it? Or needing people to tell you you're great.
Oh, much deeper. Yeah.
It's about recognizing your own inherent worth, your capability, a kind of inner strength that exists no matter what's happening outside.
Independent of achievements or failures or what anyone else thinks.
Exactly. The author in this interview argues that real, solid self-esteem doesn't come from external praise.
Where does it come from then?
It stems from this strong, unwavering belief in your own power. Power to achieve things, to adapt, to overcome challenges, and crucially, to consciously create the life you actually want.
So it's an internal measure, not an external one. Like an internal barometer, not waiting for the weather report.
Perfectly put, an internal barometer.
And what's really fascinating, based on how the interview presents it, is the active nature of this self-esteem. It's almost dynamic.
How so?
Well, it's not presented as a fixed trait, like eye color, something you either have or you don't.
Okay.
Instead, Robbins frames it, and presumably the interview highlights this as a dynamic state, something you actively generate, moment by moment.
You generate your self-esteem.
Yeah. And this state is a direct result of what he famously calls the triad.
Ah, the triad. Physiology, focus, and language.
That's it. Your body, what you focus your mind on, and the words you use both inside your head and out loud.
So if you consciously change those things, how you stand, what you think about, the words you choose,
you can fundamentally and often very quickly shift your internal emotional state. And boom, consequently, your self-esteem.
Right. Which immediately brings up a big question, doesn't it?
Which is?
If self-esteem is really a state we create, how do we learn to consistently put ourselves into that high self-esteem state? Especially when, life throws curveballs or past failures creep in.
That is the million-dollar question. And the interview used to offer some profound insights there.
Like what?
It explains that it starts with a conscious decision, a deliberate shift, moving from being reactive to being proactive about your inner state.
Instead of just letting low self-esteem happen to you.
Exactly. So many people feel victimized by it, right? Like it's just part of who they are, beyond their control.
Yeah, I'm just not a confident person.
But Robbins, in the interview, hammers this home, reframes it as something you actively do or don't do, through your choices, moment by moment.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like, if you consistently focus on everything you've messed up in the past, and you use disempowering language like, I can't handle this, or I'm not good enough.
Yeah, that internal chatter.
And physically, you adopt that slumped, closed-off posture, shoulders rounded, head down.
You're basically programming yourself for low self-esteem.
Quite literally. Programming your nervous system for it. It becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy, and you're the one holding the pen.
Wow. Okay.
So, conversely, the interview explains that personal development, in this context, is about deliberately, consistently reprogramming those patterns, those often unconscious habits.
Gaining actual mastery over your own mind and body, becoming the architect of your own experience.
Precisely. And the core of that mastery, it lies in understanding and then strategically intervening with your belief systems.
Beliefs, again.
If you deeply believe, say, that you're unworthy or incapable, your brain, like a pattern matching machine, right?
Okay.
It will unconsciously just keep finding evidence to confirm that belief, creates this loop. You keep proving yourself right, even if the belief is hurting you.
So the real power.
The interview stresses lies in identifying those limiting beliefs, those stories you tell yourself that hold you back,
And then
systematically replacing them with empowering ones. Beliefs that actually serve your goals, your vision for yourself.
And this is where the NLP stuff really comes in handy.
Exactly. The neuro-linguistic programming techniques, heavily influenced by figures like Gregory Bateson too, the systems theory guy.
Right.
They provide the practical tools for doing that mental reframing, for changing those beliefs.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me, and maybe a bit revolutionary for some.
Go on.
This core idea that emotions, they aren't just things that happen to you, like weather rolling in.
Right. They're not external forces.
No. They are signals that you generate through your own internal processes, your physiology, focus, language again. The interview makes it super clear. Mastering your emotions is an absolute cornerstone, foundational for sustainable personal development, for robust self-esteem.
So it's not about not feeling negative emotions.
Not at all. It's about understanding that every emotion, even the tough ones, anger, frustration, sadness, they carry a message, a vital piece of information.
Okay.
The skill then becomes learning to interpret those messages constructively, instead of just being flattened by them or stuck in them.
And then proactively choosing your emotional state, getting out of those destructive or just draining emotional patterns.
Exactly, which is a huge part of this whole transformation journey.
Which leads us right back to the practical side. How do you actually do that? How do you shift out of those debilitating patterns when they feel so automatic, so ingrained?
Good question. What does the interview suggest?
Well, it points to powerful, immediate strategies, like instantly changing your physical state.
Your posture, breathing, facial expression.
Exactly. Robbins famously says, motion creates emotion.
Right. I've heard that.
By deliberately changing your physiology, stand taller, breathe deeper, force a real smile, even if you don't feel like it initially.
You can physically interrupt those negative cycles.
Immediately. And create more empowering ones. It also involves, as we said, changing your mental focus, what you're paying attention to, and the language you use.
Internally and externally.
Yeah, those 3 legs of the stool of the triad. They're all linked. Change one, and it starts a cascade effect through the others.
And it's not just about managing your state in isolation, right? It's about using that mastery
To drive action, consistent strategic action, and making powerful decisions.
Exactly. The interview emphasizes that taking consistent action towards your goals, even tiny steps,
Builds momentum.
undeniable momentum, and it powerfully reinforces that positive self-belief. Hey, I can do this.
Which ties directly into that idea of success leaves clues, doesn't it?
Explain that a bit.
If someone else has achieved what you want, chances are there's a pattern they followed, a strategy, a blueprint, whether they knew it consciously or not.
And you can model that, learn from it.
Effectively model it, yeah. It connects to thinkers like John Stuart Mill, too, the philosopher who talked about individual liberty and initiative shaping destiny. Action is the proof of belief.
Taking action. Got it.
Precisely.
Huh.
And the discussion in the interview, it goes even further, into values and rules, which sounds a bit dry, maybe, but it's incredibly impactful.
Our personal values and rules?
Yeah. Our values dictate what's most important to us: security, freedom, love, growth, whatever.
Okay.
And our rules, they dictate when we get to feel like those values are being met or when they're being violated.
I see. Like, I only feel loved if my partner does X, Y, and Z.
Exactly. And often, the interview apparently reveals our rules for feeling good are way too complex, too difficult, maybe even impossible to meet consistently.
Leading to constant frustration, disappointment, which tanks your self-esteem.
Totally. If your rule for feeling successful is, like, I must never ever make a mistake, well, good luck with that.
We're setting yourself up to fail.
Right. So the interview emphasizes simplifying those rules, making them empowering, and crucially, making sure they are things within your control to meet.
Not dependent on other people or external events.
That's a critical step for lasting self-worth and real fulfillment. It's like auditing the contracts you've made with yourself. Are they fair? Are they achievable?
Wow, that's powerful. Auditing your internal contracts.
Isn't it?
Okay, let's pivot now. Let's bring this to life with some specific examples, some anecdotes that came up in the interview.
Great idea. Stories make it stick.
Yeah. Even though the source text is a translation, the interview seems to capture the essence of Robbins' storytelling style. His principles really shine through.
So what kind of stories?
Well, the author frequently uses transformation stories, right, to make these abstract ideas really tangible.
Makes sense.
So one powerful anecdote might be about someone, say, just burdened by years of self-doubt, feeling totally trapped.
Okay.
And they literally changed their physiology. Maybe did a power pose, stood tall, took those deep, expansive breaths.
It's the physical shift.
Yeah, a seemingly simple shift, but described as almost instant. It led to this immediate surge of confidence.
Enabling them to do something they thought was impossible before.
Exactly, like speaking up in that crucial meeting or taking a scary career step. It demonstrates that direct link. Change your body, change your mind, change your results.
Yeah, that's a classic Robbins example. It's a cornerstone, really. He uses these stories, sometimes personal, sometimes clients, to make the concepts incredibly relatable.
Concrete.
Yeah. Another common one the interview probably touches on is overcoming a deep fear.
Like public speaking, always a popular one.
Perfect example. Imagine someone terrified of it. The interview might detail how they were guided to associate massive pleasure, positive feelings with the act of speaking.
Reframing the whole experience.
Completely reframing it. Encouraged to vividly imagine the audience loving it, to physically adopt that powerful, confident stance while thinking about it.
And using empowering self-talk.
Right. Repeating a positive mantra with real conviction instead of dwelling on what if I mess up. It's about systematically reconditioning the nervous system's response.
Okay, here's another one that I bet resonates with a lot of people listening.
What's that?
That debilitating, limiting belief. Something like, I'm just not smart enough, or I'm not the kind of person who succeeds.
Oh yeah, those run deep.
The interview likely talks about how the author, using Robbins' methods, helps someone not just notice that belief, but actually pinpoint its origin.
Trace it back.
Yeah, often back to some childhood thing, a casual comment someone made, a misinterpretation that just stuck and became this unconscious truth.
Okay, so you find the root. Then what?
Then they're guided to really challenge its validity, like rigorously. Is this actually true? Where's the hard evidence? Who said so? Were they even qualified to judge my potential? And hang on, what evidence do I have that proves this belief wrong?
Interrogating the belief.
Exactly. And crucially, then you actively flood your mind with the counter evidence, remembering every single time you did show intelligence or capability or success.
Systematically building a new, empowering belief system based on actual evidence you choose to focus on.
Right. And this process, it really aligns with folks like Alfred Korzybski, the general semantics guy.
The map is not the territory.
Exactly. How our language, our internal maps of reality, literally shape our experience. Change the map, change the experience.
These anecdotes, they really serve a powerful dual purpose for anyone listening, don't they?
How do you mean?
Well, first, they illustrate the principles really vividly, make them concrete, easy to grasp. And second, they provide a model. They show what's actually possible. Proof that these aren't just theories.
Yeah, they're practical tools that have gotten real results for real people. Different backgrounds, different challenges.
Exactly. And the interview likely emphasizes, just like Robbins does, that the real success isn't just in understanding the techniques.
It's in the application.
Consistent, intense, emotional application. It's about practice, not just reading about it.
Right, and you can almost feel that energy, can't you? The author's descriptions likely convey that compelling style.
Yeah, that sense of urgency almost.
Talking about the need to push past comfort zones. About the, quote, magic that happens when you really commit passionately to making a change, even when it feels scary.
It's not about being perfect straight away.
No, it's about being persistent, resilient, totally committed. This idea of mastering your state. It's not just about feeling good for its own sake.
No, it's instrumental.
It's about putting yourself in the optimal condition, emotionally, psychologically, to perform at your best, consistently.
Whether that's in business, sports, relationships, anywhere you want peak performance.
Exactly. And the text mentions names like Mel Fisher, the treasure hunter.
Relentless persistence, right?
Yeah. And Dick Tomey, the football coach known for motivation. It implies these principles work across different high-performance fields.
Wherever unwavering belief and consistent action are absolutely key.
Yeah. Okay, so this leads us perfectly into the really practical, actionable stuff. The applications of the book's principles as the interview details them.
How to. Let's get into it.
One core principle that gets highlighted, apparently with a lot of depth, is the importance of modeling excellence.
Modeling.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's not just copying someone, right?
No, it's much more sophisticated, more scientific almost.
How does it work then?
It involves meticulously understanding the precise patterns, often unconscious patterns of thought, belief, physiology, and action.
That highly successful people use
Oh.
in a specific area.
Exactly. And then adapting those patterns, that internal strategy for yourself.
Like reverse engineering their success
Yeah,
from the inside out.
that's a great way to put it. Reverse engineering success.
So let's break that down more. If I want to be, say, a really compelling communicator.
Right. You don't just watch what they say or how they wave their hands around.
Okay.
Robbins' approach, which the interview highlights, pushes you deeper. Understand how they breathe when they're feeling powerful. What's their internal dialogue like before they speak?
Wow. Where do their eyes move when they access certain information? Subtle vocal shifts.
Even the specific meanings they attach to certain words. It's incredibly specific, almost like a neuroscientific take on accelerated learning.
So the interview suggests that by identifying these subtle underlying patterns, the syntax of success, you could call it.
Anyone can dramatically speed up their learning curve, achieve amazing results much faster.
It makes me think of top performers,
Yeah.
athletes like Larry Bird, relentlessly practicing fundamentals.
Or artists like Anna Pavlova, the ballerina, perfecting every tiny movement. They master these intricate patterns, consciously or not.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, what's another key practical application from the interview?
The deliberate, conscious control of your physiology.
We touched on this with the triad, but it's worth focusing on.
Definitely. The interview would likely stress with powerful examples that your body isn't just a container for your brain. It directly, profoundly influences your emotional state.
Okay.
Simple things you can do right now. Consciously standing tall, shoulders back, forcing a genuine smile even for a minute, taking deep, diaphragmatic breath.
Breathing from the belly, filling the lungs.
Yeah. These things can instantly alter your mood, shift your focus, dramatically increase your confidence.
So you're using your physical actions to create the feeling you want,
Yeah.
instead of waiting for the feeling to just show up.
Exactly. It's probably the most tangible, most immediate tool anyone has. Accessible to everyone right now for boosting self-esteem or changing your state.
You don't need anything outside of you to change first. Just change how you're using your body.
Right. And that powerful physiological shift, it goes hand in glove with another practice.
Yeah.
Deliberately reframing language.
The words we use.
The way we talk to ourselves, especially. That internal dialogue, the stories we spin about things. It's incredibly powerful, way more than most people realize.
So the interview shares examples of this.
Yeah, like just changing a disempowering phrase to a more empowering one can immediately shift how you feel about something.
Give me an example.
Instead of thinking or saying, ugh, I have to do this difficult task.
Which feels heavy, like an obligation.
Right. Consciously shift it, reframe it to, okay, I get to tackle this interesting challenge.
Subtle shift, obligation to opportunity.
But it's a profound shift emotionally, isn't it? It changes your whole relationship to the task. And this ties right into that cognitive stuff, like from Peters and Waterman's In Search of Excellence.
How positive language and beliefs in organizations drive success.
Yeah.
I see the link.
Exactly.
And this idea of intentional language, it extends pretty dramatically to using incantations or affirmations, right?
Yes. The interview probably details this. It's about repeatedly stating positive, empowering beliefs.
It's not just mumbling them.
No, that's the key. Not passively. With intense, passionate emotion. With physical conviction. You have to feel it.
So you're hardwiring it into your nervous system, overriding the old limiting stuff.
That's the idea. It's not just reciting words, it's feeling it in every cell. Embodying the belief physically, as you stated.
This repetitive, highly emotional reinforcement. That's a key technique for reprogramming the subconscious.
Absolutely. And you think about those titans mentioned, like J. Paul Getty or J. Willard Marriott.
Yeah.
Building empires.
That kind of monumental success often seems built on just unwavering positive belief and relentless action.
Which these techniques are designed to cultivate, right? They didn't just hope for success. They act as if it was inevitable, fueled by that powerful internal state.
They generated it.
Okay, here's another huge practical application. Identifying and challenging limiting beliefs. We talked about finding them, but the challenging part is critical.
Getting specific.
The interview really emphasizes that most of our limitations, those invisible barriers we hit, they come from beliefs we picked up somewhere, often ages ago, without even thinking about it.
Yeah, unconscious assumptions.
So the practical application is a systematic process. You question these beliefs relentlessly.
Like we discussed before. Is this really true? Where's the proof? Who told me this? Were they an expert on me?
What evidence contradicts this belief? And crucially, what becomes possible if I genuinely believe something else instead?
That critical examination seems absolutely key for breakthroughs, shattering those self-imposed ceilings.
It really does.
And, this technique, it actively encourages critical thinking, doesn't it? Pushing you to question assumptions, consider alternatives.
Which are vital skills for growth anyway, intellectual liberation.
Right, it's about gaining perspective.
Yeah.
Realizing that so many of our truths about ourselves or the world are just subjective interpretations, inherited stories.
And we have the power to choose different stories, to change the interpretation.
The interview would push for that relentless pursuit of what's genuinely empowering versus what just feels familiar or comfortable. Even if the empowering truth feels a bit uncomfortable at first.
The discomfort of growth versus the comfort of staying stuck.
Well put.
Okay, and then there's the big one. Goal setting and visualization, but done in a very specific way.
Not just a vague wish list.
No way. The interview makes it crystal clear. You need a compelling, emotionally charged vision. You need to know precisely what you want.
Broken down into clear, actionable steps, bite-sized pieces.
Yes, and then you mentally rehearse achieving it, with absolute vividness, multisensory.
So not just seeing it.
No, feeling the emotions of success, hearing the sounds associated with it, smelling it, tasting it, touching the results in your mind.
Really immersive mental preparation.
Exactly. It primes your subconscious for success, makes it way more likely you'll actually take the necessary actions in the real world.
You see this with high achievers, right?
Yeah.
The text mentions Pete Rose, his tenacity in baseball.
And Henry Ford, revolutionizing industry with his vision and drive, it's the power of a clear vision combined with relentless, focused action.
And what's really interesting here, often missed in basic goal-setting advice, is the focus on emotional impact.
Getting emotion involved.
Massively involved. It's not just writing a smart goal. It's about attaching such huge, overwhelming, positive emotion to achieving it.
Yeah.
And conversely, attaching massive pain to not achieving it, or to procrastinating, making the cost of inaction feel unbearable.
So your brain is just compelled to move towards the goal.
The interview would frame it like that. It taps into that fundamental human driver. We move towards pleasure. We move away from pain.
So by consciously linking pleasure to your goals and pain to inaction,
You create this incredibly powerful internal motivation system. It drives you forward almost automatically, like setting your internal GPS.
Wow. Okay. So really, this whole deep dive into unlimited power, filtered through this interview, it boils down to a message of profound empowerment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Achieved through understanding these principles and consistently applying them.
They're not just theories. They are tools. Powerful tools that when you use them consistently with emotion.
They can lead to really profound, lasting shifts in how you see yourself, what you feel capable of, and ultimately your actual life.
It's about taking radical responsibility for your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, focus.
Knowing that by doing that, you gain this undeniable power to shape your external reality too.
Which taps into that universal human desire, right? For impact, for meaning, for feeling like you're actually steering your own ship.
Definitely.
Yeah, the interview serves as this powerful reminder, it seems, that unlimited power, it's not some magic force out there or some gift only given to a few special people.
It's inherent inside everyone.
Exactly. Waiting to be awakened, disciplined, directed purposefully. It fundamentally encourages that big shift in mindset.
From victimhood
Where you feel like life just happens to you.
to authorship.
Where you actively write your own story. You direct your own life. It's realizing that famous idea. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're probably right.
And Robbins' principles, as laid out in this interview, are designed to help you choose the empowering beliefs, the ones that serve your highest goals.
Exactly.
So let's bring it home. What does all this mean for you, listening right now? The distilled takeaways from this interview on unlimited power, they're really impactful, and you can act on them.
Okay, number one.
You are profoundly more capable than you probably think. Seriously, your limits. Mostly self-imposed.
Products of those unconscious beliefs, habitual thoughts, conditioned feelings.
Yeah. And second, you have tools right now at your disposal. Your physiology, your focus, your language. You can use them to instantly shift your state, empower yourself in any moment.
You don't need permission or perfect conditions to feel worthy or capable.
You generate it from within, right now.
Which leads to that nagging question, though. If these tools are always there, if the blueprint is so clear, why aren't more people using them all the time, creating amazing lives?
Yeah, that's a fair question. What does the interview suggest?
It often comes down to a lack of real awareness, not fully grasping these internal mechanisms, or just the sheer weight of old habits.
Those ingrained patterns require consistent, conscious effort to change.
Exactly. These principles aren't magic wands. It's a disciplined approach. Psychological and emotional mastery takes work.
Consistent practice, self-observation, willingness to be uncomfortable sometimes for the sake of growth.
It's a marathon,
Yeah.
not a sprint, but crucially, one that pays off right from the first step you take.
And finally, the ultimate message. The big one that this interview about unlimited power seems to leave you with.
Yes.
Radical personal responsibility and truly limitless potential.
Wow.
It's this profound idea that your ability to create the life you want, to achieve your dreams, it's limited only by your imagination, really.
And your willingness to take that consistent, inspired, emotionalized action.
Yeah. It's not just a book title, it's a call to action. Unleash that power that's already inside you.
So connecting to the big picture.
Yeah.
Why unlimited power still resonates. Why these interview insights endure. It's about fostering that proactive mindset. Being a creator, not just a reactor.
Moving beyond just dealing with what life throws at you.
And instead, actively, deliberately creating the circumstances, the emotions, the experiences you really desire. The real power is in the consistent, passionate application of these fundamental principles.
Okay. That brings us nicely to our final provocative thought, something for you to chew on this week.
All right, let's hear it.
If you were to truly, deeply embrace this idea that you have unlimited power within you, not just as a nice phrase, but as a practical reality.
Okay.
What's one thing, maybe something that feels impossible right now, that you would commit to achieving this week, just by mastering your state, shifting your focus, and choosing empowering language?
That's a challenge.
Go out there and unleash that power.